Oh boy, we got a viral video of a young woman saying that when she went on a date with a bro, a man's man, and he paid the bill, whoo, she got all hot and bothered and felt the feminism leaving her body. I am not exaggerating. That is exactly what she says. And it started making me wonder about maybe the reason a lot of younger women have these politics is because they are not around actual men. But they surround themselves with, okay, well, I got to be careful here because there's a term that I can use, I think, in 30 seconds, YouTube's rules. A term, it's an actual biological term used by biologists to describe men who are of low value, who seek alternate means of attracting women. And for this, I think a lot of younger women are surrounded by these low-T loser guys who are super feminine and think that the media tells them what women actually want. In that, they go on dates and say, do you want to split the bill? And the women are like, sure. Maybe many of these women don't understand why it is they're not attracted to these guys. And then finally, this young woman here goes on a date with a guy's guy, a bro's bro. And then she goes, oh, my stars and garters. This is amazing, isn't it? Now, in biology, this term is called sneaky fucker. I am not making that up. It is quite literally the actual academic term. So in biology, they have this, the idea of the attractive male, the female seeking the male. Cardinals. You've seen cardinals, beautiful birds, very red. But alas, only the males are red. Why? The bright colors are to show off and attract the female. The females tend to be brown, more plain looking. But there's another reason why the males are bright red. To attract predators. You know, I wondered about that. It's winter, there's snow everywhere, and I see these red birds everywhere that easily stand out. Because when the predators seek to strike, they are drawn to the male and not the female, and the female has the babies survive. It's very interesting how that works. Now, in biology, you also have the concept of the sneaky fucker. That is, there is a high-value male that dances for the female. You know, birds do those dances. I love watching those nature videos where the birds are like, they dance and it's like, and it proves their value or whatever. But then you have the very strong males and they win over all the females and then reproduce. The sneaky fucker is the lesser male who in the middle of the night goes to the female, sneaks in a lay to pass on its genes. They actually call it the sneaky fucker. So I'm imagining this. I'm wondering, I should say, if this young woman, I mean, she looks like she's in her 20s, has only ever been around sneaky fucker types, male feminists, low-T, weak men lacking passion and ambition, men who don't get up, don't exercise, don't improve themselves. And she thought, this is what men are. Interesting. Perhaps one of the big reasons that many women are claiming to be LGBTQ is because they're not feeling strong attraction to males because they're not actually encountering real masculinity for which they would be attracted to. And if you're only surrounded by a bunch of whiny, low-T feminist males who are weak and out of shape and just go we should be egalitarian and split the bill. And then many of these women are just like, wow, I mean, I'm equally attracted to both, I suppose. But then they meet a big ripped Chad bro who's like, I'll pay the bill, throws the card down. And she's like, whoo, swoon, perhaps. You know, I'm not saying it's absolute. I'm just saying I wonder if in some circumstances this is the case. Let me play this video so you can hear it straight from her mouth as she describes it.
Guys, I went on a date this week and I felt the feminism leaving my body. I live on the east side of LA, and if you don't know what that means, it's sort of like the artsier part of LA, you know? It's people say it's like Brooklyn and New York. Like, so I go on dates.
Okay, I'm going to pause right there, and I don't believe she is correct, but to be honest, I haven't lived in Los Angeles for like 12 years, but I think she's not referring to East LA. I think she's actually referring to West Los Angeles, but the east part of West Los Angeles, like Silver Lake or something. Because I'm like, no, East LA is not the Brooklyn. Like, yeah, that's no, yeah, no. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's changed.
With a lot of men and women who, you know, live over here. There's always a negotiation about who pays, and that's great. I like to pay for people, all that.
Okay, I'm going to pause right there. I've never had that negotiation about who pays. Never. That's just me. Every date I've ever been on, every time I go out, I just throw my card down. I don't know. Maybe it's because I can. I just don't really think about it. And often there's only sometimes an argument like typically the only time there's ever an argument, and I wouldn't even call it an argument. Typically the only time there's ever a discussion over pay is if I'm with Luke Rutkowski. And I'll be like, no, I'll get it this time. You get it next time. And I'm just like, whatever, I guess. But typically I just pay for everything.
But what I will say is that I sort of fell into going on a date with the most guy's guy I've ever been on a date with. And he's from West, Santa Monica. He's a bro, right? A guy's guy is usually not my type. Like, I cannot remember the last time that I went on a date with like a straight bros bro. You know what I'm saying? But it befell me. It befell me in an organic fashion. So I'm on this date with this guy, and the thing about a guy's guy is he's putting his card down. He's paying for everything. And I really it sort of activated something feral in me. I'm not gonna lie. We went to like another bar, and he was gonna go to the bathroom. So I was getting prepared to pay for our drinks because he's been paying all night. Of course I'm gonna pay for the next round. But as he's going to leave for the bathroom, he turns to me and he hands me his credit card. And he goes, "Here's my card. Get us whatever." It might be time for me to get away from all these, liberal snowflakes on the east side.
Yeah, and there it is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that again. I don't think she's actually talking about East LA because East LA is not a bunch of liberal snow. Again, it's been 12 years since I've been. That's a long time. It's a long time. But East LA is, I don't know. Not that, but I don't know. Again, maybe, whatever. But it's funny, isn't it? It's funny. Yeah. She's dating all these liberal guys, and they're thinking, women want to be equals. We should split the bill. That way I show her I respect her. And this guy's guy, did not think twice, threw down his car and said, just get us whatever. He didn't even care. I was reading about the nice guy phenomenon. There's a lot of dudes who are like, I'm a nice guy and women don't respect me. And, they'll friend zone me. And I'm like, huh. I mean, I guess I can, understand that being a young teenager going through the trials and tribulations of navigating dating. But I learned very, very quickly about what a nice guy actually is. A nice guy is not a nice guy. Now, you will hear often that these nice guys are actually like demanding and they have expectations. And now let's just say there's a couple kinds of nice guy. There is, in fact, the quote unquote nice guy who actually is just entitled. And they say, I was nice to you and respected you, so you owe me, relations or whatever. And then we're like, I don't owe you anything. That's not nice. You're not a nice guy when you're acting a certain way because you think you will get some gratification in return. But then there are more, yes, nice guys. And they'll split the bill and they'll be polite and they'll ask, is this what's okay? These nice guys are not nice. They're demure and agreeable. And that is, according to this woman, not what she's into. I'm not going to speak for every single woman. Women like different things, of course. But when this woman finally experiences a masculine man, she's like, ooh, swoon. Oh, you can't see my hand. I'm doing the fan thing. I'm doing the woo, ladies. So, here's what happens. This guy who took her out, he's a nice guy. He's also confident, doesn't care. There are a lot of guys who are like, you can't give her too much. You can't call within 3 days, blah, blah, blah. Like that. I think that's actually inhibitive of successful male dating strategy. I don't like the idea of guys necessarily trying to like read books on how to date better, but I do think guys have to learn how to socialize properly. I think the reality is this man's man, bro's bro kind of guy, he probably gets rejected all the time. There's this idea that many of these nice guys have, or incels, that these ultra chads just get whatever they want, whenever they want, and they can do whatever. Well, look, the cream of the crop, top of the top, 6'5", ripped, wealthy. Okay, dude's probably got his pick of the litter, for sure. But the thing about this bros Chad guy is he doesn't care. Okay? He throws down his card, says, you just guess whatever. He's not thinking about trying to win her over. He doesn't care. And she's like, wow, he's just paying the bill and doesn't think twice. She likes it. And then maybe one day, this guy's on a date and he throws the card down and says, you just get us whatever. And then she's like, okay. And then she's like, I'm not feeling it. I'll go, okay, cool. Nice hanging out. See you later. He never thinks twice. He doesn't dwell on it. He doesn't go on the online and complain like, why was I rejected? He's like, I don't know. I meet tons of people all the time, and I can't even remember half the people I met last week. That's the thing. Where is your focus? Where is your attention going? So if you're a dude, and let's say you're the cringiest nice guy ever, and you go on a ton of dates, right? And then you keep failing. If you don't care, you're just like, I don't know, whatever, I guess. It reminds me of that King of the Hill episode. I love it. Hank Hill asks Boomhauer to teach Bobby how to pitch woo. He's like, Boomhauer, you're good with the ladies. Could you maybe show Bobby? And then they go to the mall, and Boomhauer is just walking up to every woman going like, damn, girl, looking pretty good. Why don't you give me that number? We'll hang out sometime. And just saying that over and over again exactly as it is. And then he keeps getting slapped. And then eventually a woman writes the number, and then he's like, hey, you go, Bobby, dang old secret right there. Get it. And then Bobby goes, Mr. Boomhauer, your secret to picking up women is to ask every woman. And then Boomhauer goes like, shh, come on, I want a secret, man. Come on, shh. Just ask every woman. Yeah. Yes. There you go. I think the secret is, for a lot of guys, is just stop caring. It's a paradox where guys who go on a lot of dates end up not caring because they're just like, I don't know, man. If it didn't work out, I'll just be on another date at some point with someone else. So what does it matter? And then guys who never get dates panic when they finally do, and they care too much. It's a paradox, isn't it? But outside of all that, what I find truly fascinating is the phenomenon of a young woman for the first time dating a Chad bro, a man's man, and then realizing it feels good. And what I see there is, I think a lot of women feel pressure from other women. Actually, let me put it this way. What's the purpose of makeup? I mean, if you ask a lot of guys, they'll say they don't like makeup. I don't know if it's the majority, but most of the people I know don't like makeup. In fact, me personally, I think it's gross. I really find it gross. And then I hear this from women all the time. They're like, you don't really find it gross. You're just saying that. Ladies, it's gross. I do not like makeup. It's gross. Sorry. And then I get women going like, yeah, but if you do it right and do only a little bit, I'm like, nope, all of it, all the time, nasty. That's just me. Whatever. Maybe some guys like it. I'm just saying. What I hear a lot is women dress up not for men, but for other women. There's that viral meme where a woman said male privilege is wearing the same clothes every day and no one caring about it. And then this guy's like, literally not a single man cares if you wear the same cute dress twice in a row. Yeah. Like, yep, guys don't care. Maybe some guys, but most don't. Women do this for other women because they want to build status and they want to look significant to other women, right? So here's what happens. You get a woman like this, and she says, look at the guy I'm going to date with. The other women then say, he's not socially acceptable because he's a Trump-supporting Chad bro. And they're like, oh, better not date that guy. He does not have social status. They end up dating these cringe male feminists, and they don't like it. And then finally, they meet the Chad bro, MAGA hat wearing, American flag waving bro, and they love it. There's a really funny post that went viral a couple years ago where this woman was like, I went on a date with a conservative and I loved it, but oh man, I hate his politics. What do I do? And she's like, I just fantasize about a MAGA bro, just, this, that. And I'm like, Because I think what women are attracted to, but what is socially acceptable has been split. And so you have women on social media being like, no, Dylan Mulvaney, that's the person you want to be with or be like, or that's a good person. And in reality, most women are like, it doesn't move the needle for me. Well, here you go. You can see it exactly here. Perhaps not all women, obviously. But I have to wonder if there are a lot of liberal women who don't actually know what they're attracted to or how actual attraction feels because they're averse to being near a bro because the stigma around their leftist social groups. That's why she's surprised when she meets an actual masculine guy. She loves it and feels the feminism leaving her body. Yeah. You have to wonder about that. I saw a great thread on sex differences. And it was from some researchers talking about a conference where they're talking about socialization versus biology. And I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's fairly obvious that it's both socialization and biology which creates biological differences or differences in gender, in stereotypes, etc. The stereotypes, I think, are actually fairly obvious. We've talked about it quite a bit. If 99 men die, if you have 100 men and 100 women and 99 men die, your society can succeed. Women are capable of doing a lot of jobs and even hunting. Though men do a lot of things better than women, they don't create human beings. Women can pick up the slack for men and create human beings. So 100 men, 100 women, 99 men die. That one man can make a whole bunch of babies in 9 months. A lot of work for that one guy, but it's possible. 100 men, 100 women, 99 women die. You're done. You get one baby in 9 months, you ain't going to be having a lot of babies. That woman's going to be working more than any woman's ever worked, desperately trying to save what remains of their village. For this, you have the expendable male. Men, if a man dies, society can still survive. For this, men take on riskier and more dangerous tasks. For this, men have more bone density, muscle mass, skin collagen, etc., because they go out, fight, defend, and hunt, because the risk to them is not the risk to society, but the risk to females is. And so you end up with evolutionary pressure, which creates social norms. You know, I was reading about how dogs came to be. So basically, you got a bunch of humans sitting in a little camp, little tribe, and they throw their refuse off into a pit and they leave. Wolves come and scavenge the pit and eat what remains, because wolves are scavengers. And they do hunt too, but they're scavengers. Eventually, you have something called flight time, which is the distance between a human being and an animal, the distance at which the animal will flee. Well, the wolves that were more willing to get close to humans, a lower flight time, were more likely to scavenge the refuse before another pack, and thus these wolves succeeded more, had more babies. Over a long enough period of time, the flight time between wolves and humans got smaller and smaller, but alas, there was something else. Humans would not tolerate aggressive wolves getting too close. So there was a dual pressure system. Wolves that were less aggressive and humans that were more tolerant moved closer and closer together until the point at which wolves were freely moving about human camps and humans didn't care. Little did these humans know that the wolves urinating around the area was creating a territory that other predators were scared to enter. Not completely, but to a certain degree, thus resulting in higher success of those humans. Eventually, when the humans would go on the hunt, the wolves would follow. Eventually, the humans followed the wolves. And something interesting happened. The wolves could smell prey. And so the humans followed and said, the wolves are going to deer. The wolves then used tools to quickly take down the deer, and both wolves and humans thrived. But through this pressure, the behavior of wolves changed, and now they're dogs. And dogs are happy little fluffy buddies that love humans unconditionally. So how does a dog come to be? Social pressures created social behaviors. Environmental pressures created social behaviors. The same is true for human beings and each other. Humans that would send their women to go hunt likely would not last that long. So women end up not hunting. Men end up doing a lot of the riskier jobs and protecting the tribe. That means that there is a genetic component to behaviors of men, the same as animals have instinct, humans do. Now, humans are very intelligent and social. Therefore, our behaviors can be altered and manipulated through socialization more than other animals. I would presume, but I believe that's fair to say. Thus, you end up with females being told to be with more demure, agreeable men, but they don't feel that attraction within them. I'm not saying it's absolute. I'm saying in this particular instance. And thus, where do we get gender stereotypes? A combination of socialization, what colors women wear, dresses. Yeah, that's nothing to do with social pressures. But of course, the reason why women weren't working, the reason why women weren't voting was absolutely because men were involved in external affairs and and war, conflict, hunting, etc., and women stayed in the camp. If you extrapolate, you have a bunch of females safely guarded in the camp, raising children because they're the only ones who can. I'm not saying men can't contribute to it, but women create the life, so men protect them. That means men are out scouting, making sure predators aren't coming and other rival groups aren't coming, while the women stay home. Over a long period of time, the men are the one working in offices and the women are staying home. But now, in our society, with modern feminism, but more importantly with technology, safety and security is paramount. Humans are not at risk of extinction, except from themselves, I suppose. And thus, there's no real social pressure on women to stay in the home to stay safe. So women now, there's no restriction on working and doing these things, and it creates the circumstances where we are today. But deeply ingrained within all of us are our stereotypes and social behaviors that come from millennia of evolution. So I am not surprised to see a young woman being like, masculinity is attractive and the feminism leaves my body. Now, this is all a bit speculative. I'm just a guy who reads stuff on the internet. Perhaps I'm wrong about all of it, and feel free to correct me. But I still find it interesting nonetheless. Thank you, young lady, for expressing your opinion and contributing to the deeper analysis of human copulation. And maybe we'll figure this thing out yet. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 6 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.